Howdy peeps and welcome back. What have we got today? Bit of a ramble and a waffle as usual. Bit of a bench update as well. See what I'm doing and going on about at the moment. So where was I going to start? Well, kits. Why do we build? Why do we buy what we build and buy? Now, personally for me, it's basically down to what I like the look of, what I think I'll enjoy building. Whether it's a T90 or a Monster or I don't know, a Spitfire or a little Yak. If I like the look of the model, the general aesthetic of it, it doesn't matter if it's English, French, Chinese, Russian, American, Klingon, whatever. It's does it look cool? Yeah. Now, I'm not one to get hung up on historical accuracies. I can understand people who do like their models or want their models to be as historically accurate as possible. That to me isn't a necessarily enjoyable part of the hobby. Scouring through the internet trying to find pictures of the real thing and then all that. If a kit comes with a colour scheme and a decal set that I like, I'll use it. Yeah, it's that simple. I mean, heck, if there aren't any I like, I'll make one up. Yeah, yes. What are you going to do? It's all about having fun to me. It's a relaxation. It's something to enjoy. And I don't necessarily enjoy scouring through hundreds of pictures on Google image search for pictures of a certain aeroplane. I mean, I'd rather be looking for pictures of boobs, you know. It's one of those things. And where it comes to the variety of the things I build, again, I build what I like. And I would get bored building the same thing time and time again. Now, if I build 2 or 3 tanks in a row, I have to go build a plane or a figure or something like that just to have a change. Otherwise, to me, it turns into a production line, and that's too much like work. When you've worked on a production line, you're just basically making the process more efficient and things are going past you at a rate of knots, and you end up not really enjoying it so much. Now again, for others, I can understand people who want one kit on the one build on the go at a time, take their time, accurate, everything like that, turn out a stunning model at the end. That's great. I'm not going to knock anyone. I'm not going to knock anyone for taking part in the hobby at all. There are people who are better at it objectively and people who are worse at it objectively. You know, I'm by no means an expert or professional or anything like that. I just do it for fun. If some of my models occasionally turn out looking passable, that's great. You know, if they turn out looking a bit poo, as long as I've enjoyed it, it doesn't matter. Now, as for the kits we choose, I know some people will only buy a certain type of kit and won't buy another manufacturer's or one that's more than a couple of years old, and others will only buy the older kits. If all there is an older kit available of the subject, then I'll get it. But if there's a newer, shinier kit, usually with more parts, some photo etch, maybe some resin, whatever, I'll tend to go for that one rather than the older one. The same if there are 2 kits of a comparable age. I did it with the Tamiya in the AFV club with the is it the 109, the Paladin, the big self-propelled gun, artillery piece thingy. The Tamiya one was 40 quid and the AFV club one was 50 quid. But the AFV club one had about double the parts count and a metal barrel. and photo etch and blah blah blah. So to me, I'm going to get more than my extra tenner's worth of enjoyment out of that kit than I would over the Tamiya, which I'd probably put together in an afternoon. I think it took me a couple of days, maybe 3 or 4 days to put the AFE club together, but yeah, the Tamiya one would have been in primer by the end of the first day basically. So that's kind of a bit of a random waffle. It's something that I've kind of been thinking about. I mean, what kits do you enjoy building? Do you like sticking to just building the same kind of kits? Do you just build aircraft? Do you just build tanks? Just cars? Just figures? Do you narrow it down even more than that? Do you just build World War II German tanks? Targets, panzers, stump targets, whatever it happens to be. Do you just build modern RAF? I'm not knocking anyone who does. If that's what you enjoy and that's what you want to do in the hobby, go for it. To me, I would get bored very quickly. So there we have it. A quick random musing, waffling, rambling on what kits we build, why we might build them, why we might choose one over another. So, quick benchy roundup. Well, what am I working on at the moment? Well, an ongoing project, and I kind of ground to a halt a bit with it because I've been enjoying the other builds I've been doing, is the TACOM, and I'll just run it through the shot slowly, T55 on the CRAS transporter, and we're getting near the end of it. There we go. That's it's not the greatest of kits. I won't say it's a bad kit, it's just kind of vague. The fit isn't bad, but it's not great. It just doesn't excite me. I'm enjoying putting it together, and I'll enjoy slapping some paint on it and a bit of muck and mud and calling it done, but it's not really grabbing my fancy at the moment. I'm just doing a bit of it now and then while I'm waiting for other things to dry at the moment. And speaking of other things, our most recent completion, I'll probably have to get it a bit closer so you can actually see what we've got here, is the Games Workshop Tyranid Flying Hive Tyrant, or Flyrant as everyone seems to call it. I stuck a little towel figure out of one of the, trying to remember what it was it the Devilfish? It was a towel flying tank that I built. I just stuck him on there with a few rocks on the base to make it look a bit more interesting, and I'm going to have to angle it up so you can actually see the wrong way. Get it in the middle of the shot sharp might help. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. Basically, as soon as I started it, I just wanted to carry on with it. Everything else went out the window. And the same with the second build I have on the go, which is the little Zvezda Yak 130 that I reviewed on the channel not long ago, that way. And yeah, lovely little kit. It's not a simple build, it fits together really nicely, but for a 172 it is actually really quite complex in the parts breakdown and how it all fits together. But it's a really good little kit, and if you do build 172 or even 148th and fancy one, I would highly recommend it. It takes a little bit of work. You've got to be a bit careful, make sure everything's fitting together properly, otherwise later parts won't fit properly. But yeah, great kit. Now, I don't know how many, or excuse me, who is watching the Edward Spitfire build series. Obviously, that's coming into paint now, and well, it was finished months ago, to be honest. It's just a case of getting the videos up at one a week. It takes a little longer than if I just hurled them all out at once. So once that's all up, I will be doing a I'm not going to say tutorial. Not even a build series, a paint series would probably be more accurate. And I'll get a how I deal with resin video out of it as well. But I'll be painting the, try and get the glare off the box, wrong way again. The Nuts Planet Little Red Riding Hood, which was bought for me by my lovely girlfriend as a present the other day. And once I get a camera angle figured out, because obviously here in front of me is going to be no good. My normal overhead, well, if I'm painting a small figure, I'm going to be leaning forward and all you're going to be seeing is the top of my head, or I'm going to wanting to pull the figure back towards myself and pull it out of frame. So I'll need to set up the camera somewhere here on my left hand side so that my right painting hand doesn't get in the way. But we'll see how that goes. I might film some of it and it's absolutely horrible, so I never put it up, but I'll film some, see how it goes. If it's going well, I'll put it up, carry it on. And other than that, I've got a couple of kits on the way that I will probably maybe do reviews of. Couple of other little ideas for tutorials, or well, no, I don't do tutorials because I'm not good enough to say it's a tutorial, this is how you do it. It's me, it's a how I do video, usually the quick and dirty way of doing it rather than the in-depth and award-winning methods. It's a just get it done method. So got a few ideas for those, maybe a couple more of these random face to camera kind of musings, waffles, and yeah, hopefully continue to grow the channel and get more views, more subscribers, get people involved. So it's all about. For me, I'm not in this, I'm not joining YouTube and making videos because I want to make a fortune and live off of making YouTube videos, because I know that's never going to happen with a modelling channel. Let's be honest. Yeah, might get enough to pay for a 172 Airfix kit at the end of the year if I did monetize it, so it's just not worth the hassle really. And I'm sure you guys prefer not seeing adverts as well. So without further ado, I shall say happy modelling, have fun, peace out, rock on, bye bye. Oh, if I can find the off button.